All right. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture and have, if you are not sitting at your desk, if you are sitting at your desk, sorry, have both feet flat on the floor about a hip's width apart. And it's just a really good idea as a way of settling yourself is to try and really feel the earth beneath your feet, if that doesn't sound too cliched. Trying to feel the sensations of the heel, the ball mound, and all the little toe pads. Shoulders are aligned with the hips, and the ears align with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Imagine you're lengthening your spine. Some space in between the vertebrae. Go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Maybe you can feel some sensation there. Relax the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the eyelashes, the eyeball, the back of the eye. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the tongue. Relax the jaw. Allow, um, just allow your shoulder blades and shoulders to relax down, and the neck, the throat, the chest and the belly and your limbs. And now notice your breath sensations. Just become aware of these as you inhale and exhale. And then be aware of any sound in your environment. Just allow the sounds to be there, trying not to follow the mind. Follow with the mind, or have the mind run off to investigate. It's like any distraction is a good one sometimes. So we're just happily distracted. But just imagine you're in this little bubble and your mind is in the same place your body is, and just kind of keep it there. And then just notice the thoughts as they're arising. Put some space in between them. Put some breath in between those thoughts. Then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones. There are some people in our lives, we have these beautiful and profound relationships. Then there's our strangers, and then there's some that we don't really like, we have aversion for. And due to impermanence, these relationships are interchangeable. They're all equal. However you feel about these people, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddha mind. So we do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So there's been another horrible incident. Someone just plowed into a bunch of people with their car. It's just, I sometimes wonder what goes on inside people's minds, this kind of level of destruction. So, this is where it's really good that we're looking at our mind and starting to get on top of certain kinds of emotions, like being able to recognize what's there. And sometimes we don't like what we see, but it's better to see it than have it all of a sudden kind of break loose. We don't even know where it's all come from. So this person that plowed into all these people, it didn't come from that kind of anger, that level of need to destroy, didn't come out of nowhere. So it's just a really good idea. It's good for us to keep our mental health in check, take care of ourselves. So just think about all these people who didn't have a great Christmas or a New Year's Eve, who haven't had a particularly happy time. And quite a few people are sick right now as well. So just think about all these people who are suffering. We do this meditation for them. All these people who have died recently in the last few days. Do this practice for them. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logical karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we can't bear the thought of any more future suffering. So, we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. And we certainly don't want the kind of suffering that, we've seen on the news media recently that other people have been experiencing. That just looks really, really horrible, life-changing suffering. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as this kind of suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And we think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. So we're not needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a radiant face, and he has this lotus-shaped eyes, so they're long, like shaped like lotus petals. And his face is just very peaceful. His eyes are full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. You can also imagine, he's looking at everybody equally, even the ones you don't like, even the strangers. Just completely happy, however it is you're turning up this evening. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about maybe those people have harmed you, and particularly have compassion for these ones, because the harm they've caused you is going to result with suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajra mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, lying, all our kind of lack of wisdom, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta mebhawa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa Mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything except benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. So next is this purification of our mind. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine, Lama Yeshe would say, you walk into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and just like a light being switched on in the room, instantly dispels all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, and bitterness. So maybe you could imagine that all of those emotions are lounging around on chairs in the dark. And then you walk into the room and you flick on the switch, and instantly the light hits them. They all disappear. So it's instantly dispelled. Imagine this, not one atom left. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Trita mebhawa Sitokaya mebhawa Sipokaya mebhawa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Juda Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ah hum pe vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And then think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine, as we've just done, with the body, the nectar flows downwards. And then with the speech, the nectar flows upwards. So it's kind of busy. And then the light comes in and just kind of blasts it all. So you kind of just imagine all of that happening all at once, simultaneously. And as that's happening, it removes even the very subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ah hum pe vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve and the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's really crucial because here we're making a decision. We don't make a determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration, if you will, becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts coming along here. It's New Year's Day. So maybe some of you are up very late last night. So just rejoice in your effort. And then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Keep it really simple, really small, no big elaborate thing. And just even keep it to a few seconds or a minute. I'm going to observe my rumination or my anger or whatever. And this determination to sort of start looking at our mind and shining a light in there and seeing what's going on. And then once we've discovered what's there, thinking about what can I do about that? How can I prevent that action from harming me or myself or harming others? So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend meditating on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do chanting the names of Manjushri. The wisdom of equality, the great fulfiller of desired aims, the purifier of all evil states, the greatest of all living beings, protector, the earnest liberator of all creatures, unrivaled knight in battle with afflictions, humiliating ignorance, his foe, the celebrated mind of amorousness, endowed with forms heroic and repulsive, the dancer moving to and fro, his hundreds of lengthy arms while setting down his stride, the dancer spreading through the whole of space and filling it with Shrimat's 100 arms. So let's just dedicate this practice also for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, have a long and happy, healthy life, for the swift return of our precious Lamas Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. Lots of love. Sweet dreams. Happy 2025, everybody. And thank you. Who was hosting? Michael? Oh, it's Shayla. Okay.